dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, primary election day in Kentucky. The state's 6 constitutional offices are up for grabs. It could be a close one in the race for governor. 3 prominent candidates are going head-to-head on the Democratic side. Attorney General Andy Beshear voted this morning in Louisville. That's where his election night headquarters will be. Beshear, of course, is the son of Kentucky's last Democratic governor and was considered by many as the front runner early in the race. Now, longtime State Representative Rocky Adkins voted earlier today in Morehead. He'll watch the results tonight from Morehead State University. He is counting on the rural vote tonight and spent a lot more time in eastern Kentucky than the other Democratic candidates. Former State Auditor Adam Edlin voted earlier in Lexington. He will end up in Louisville tonight for his campaign party as the votes come in. Jeff Young is the 4th Democrat on the ballot. Now, meanwhile, on the Republican side, Governor Matt Bevin is asking voters to give him another 4 years in office. Bevin says there's still a lot he would like to accomplish. Bevin had a turbulent first term at times, but he has the support of President Trump, who even tweeted his support earlier today. And of course, the president's still very popular in Kentucky. Now, Bevin is being challenged in today's primary. His biggest competition comes from State Representative Robert Goforth of Laurel County. Goforth voted this morning in East Bernstadt and will be watching the results come in later in Lexington. His running mate is Michael Hogan, an attorney from Lawrence County. Besides Governor Bevin and Representative Goforth, William Woods and Ike Lawrence are also running in today's primary. Now, we will have reporters at the campaign headquarters for all the major gubernatorial candidates tonight, and their live reports will begin on Mountain News at 5:30. We'll have election coverage throughout the evening and results as soon as they start coming in when the polls close at 6 on WYMT and WYMT.com. Other races on the ballot today include Attorney General, Secretary of State, Auditor, Agriculture Commissioner, and Treasurer. 2 Eastern Kentuckians, Jason Belcher and Jason Griffith, are among the Democrats running for Secretary of State, along with former Miss America Heather French Henry. 2 other Eastern Kentuckians are running unopposed in the primary. Incumbent State Treasurer Allison Ball of Floyd County and former Attorney General Greg Stumbo of Floyd County, who wants his old job back. Both will have an opponent in November. That will be determined tonight. Well, with a little less than 2 hours left for voters to make it out to the polls, it appears predictions of a light turnout might be true. Only about 12% of Kentucky's registered voters were expected to cast a ballot. WYMT's Taylor Upchurch has more from one Perry County precinct.
Those with a vision making the decision to vote.
I mean, it helps keep the ball rolling.
With a closely watched gubernatorial race in mind, election officers hope to see packed precincts. But for some, inflexible schedules may get in the way.
You know, depending on the job, it is hard. You may not always get to, but that's when, if you really want to have that say, you go to the clerk's office, you go just see what you can do.
Generations young and old researching each candidate's plan of action. No matter the age, registered voters say knowledge is power. From global warming to abortion, many voters are concerned with several key issues.
Go vote, especially for things like Secretary of the Commonwealth and some of the smaller positions that don't get as much coverage and don't have as many press bites, but are very important in how our state is run.
If you're unsure of where to vote, constituents can receive help at every precinct.
They can look it up for you, they can call for you and see where your name is registered, what you've got to do.
All you need is one form of identification and a will to participate.
I mean, it's just your right. You should vote if you have that right.
Narrowing down the list of candidates for November's general election. In Perry County, Taylor Upchurch, WYMT Mountain News.
And remember, you still have until 6 p.m. to make your voice heard. If you are in line by 6, you should still be able to vote. Now, you can report any violations of Kentucky's election laws to the Attorney General's voter fraud hotline. The number to call is 1-800-328-VOTE or 800-328-8683.
Well, it's been a pretty mild day here in the mountains. Those temperatures outside actually feeling pretty good. We've seen sunshine too. You'll notice as we take a look at a few of those cameras, a few high clouds at times, but overall we have seen those mostly sunny skies. And looking over into Whitesburg, once again, those higher clouds maybe giving you a little bit of shade at times because that sun outside definitely feeling pretty hot out there. Now, satellite and radar shows those clouds mostly due to the system to our north, bringing some rain chances. But notice those rain chances have stayed to our north. We have remained dry really all day. So check out this temperature gradient though. You'll notice those lower 70s up into the Big Sandy region, but those lower 80s down into the Cumberland Valley. It's really because of that approaching warm front that we're seeing into the mountains. So check this out. It's really those wind speeds as well. From the northeast, you're seeing a little bit stronger northeast flow for the Big Sandy region, while the Cumberland Valley is almost seeing that southwesterly flow. So that's really why we've seen really such a big temperature gradient across eastern Kentucky. So as we head into tomorrow though, we'll see all those winds shift out of the southwest as that warm front moves through, bringing us very warm conditions. We'll start to see a few rain chances creep back into the forecast as well. Also have a look at that Memorial Day weekend forecast coming up in just a few short minutes. Steve.
Thank you, Paige. Parts of a popular southern Kentucky marina went up in flames early yesterday morning. Daylight revealed the extent of the damage at the Conley Bottom Marina. In the ashes were the remains of a cafe and a store. Still, as WYMT's Phil Pendleton tells us, the marina's owners are thankful and looking forward to the busy Memorial Day weekend.
They were already busy getting ready for the start of the summer season. Then a massive fire destroyed their offices, a store, and a cafe. But sometimes when bad things happen to some, it brings out the best in others.
Called and texted and come down to do whatever they can and want to help. So it's been wonderful.
Fred Piercy's family owns Conley Bottom, and that family has seen so many in such a short time give of themselves to get them back on their feet again.
Yeah, well, we've got the best crew anywhere on the lake, or any lakes, I think, and they all just come down to do whatever they could while this all was going, and they're all here today.
Fire damage, but did not destroy their gasoline island, so that's been moved and it'll be fully operational by Friday. An outdoor shed will be their temporary office. It'll be almost a year before a permanent store and cafe is built.
Yeah, probably be a little larger, and I'm sure it'll have things that we wanted to have and didn't have the space for before, so it'll be good.
Construction of that will start in the fall, and they hope to have it done by next spring. In Wayne County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
People in the community have set up a fundraising page to help with repairs. Investigators in Monticello are still looking into the fire's cause, but at this point it looks like the fire was just an accident. 6 months have passed since the deadly campfire tore through Paradise, California. This past weekend, students at Paradise High School held their annual prom. But despite all the hardships they endured this school year, organizers wanted to make it a celebration they will never forget, thanks to some celebrities. Makeup artists flew into town from New York, as did hair specialists. Students had dresses and tuxes paid for, and then they had this video, a celebrity tribute featuring 30 actors, athletes, and entertainers.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Banks, and I'm thinking today about all of the students in Paradise.
John Heater here, aka Napoleon Dynamite.
Hello to all my friends at Paradise High School. This is me, Jude Law.
Paradise High School, what's up? It's Gabrielle Union. I just want to say happy prom!
No ball playing, no skateboarding, and no bicycle riding. Other than that, I hope you have a fantastic time.
Well, what did students think about the prom and the gesture? They say it helps reaffirm what they learned all year, that they are not alone. U.S. stealth jets intercepted several Russian bombers and fighter jets off the coast of Alaska yesterday. That's according to the North American Aerospace Defense Command, which released these photos of what happened today. NORAD says 4 Russian long-range bombers flew into what's called the Air Defense Identification Zone. That zone extends 200 miles off the western coast of Alaska. NORAD says at no time did the Russian jets enter U.S. or Canadian airspace. Russia's defense ministry says the jets were making scheduled sorties over neutral waters. Former White House counsel Don McGahn ignored a congressional subpoena, and Democrats say they will go to court to hear his testimony if necessary. The White House advised McGahn not to testify today. McGahn is a critical witness to the House Judiciary Committee's investigation about whether President Trump obstructed justice. McGahn told special counsel prosecutors that the president asked him several times to shut down Robert Mueller's probe. Chairman Jerry Nadler says McGahn is not protected by executive privilege.
When this committee issues a subpoena, even to a senior presidential advisor, the witness must show up. Our subpoenas are not optional.
McGahn is not the first White House official to ignore a subpoena. Attorney General William Barr was held in contempt earlier this month after he refused to hand over an unredacted version of special counsel Robert Mueller's report. Let's head over to Wall Street now on this primary election Tuesday. The Dow closes up today, more than 197 points. Tonight, the City of Hazard and the Kentucky League of Cities will be hosting a public meeting. City officials are asking for community members to come out to not only support the town, but they're asking for people to bring ideas on what they would like to see come to the City of Hazard.
The League of Cities is helping the city devise a 3 to 5 to 10-year plan, which we can, as a community and business leaders, and of course we want our young population also to be involved in this process, on how to create jobs and how we can all work together with limited resources to make this come true for our area.
This is the second League of Cities meeting in Hazard, and this one will take place at Hazard's City Hall beginning tonight at 6 o'clock.
Abortion rights advocates rallied today nationwide. I'm Natalie Brand at the Supreme Court with the new state laws triggering legal and political fights.
And temperatures will continue to increase throughout the work week. We'll break down that full forecast in just a few short minutes.